For most of us to be successful with our sales calls, we need to understand the buyer's journey before they even get to us. Why? Because if we don't take into account this buyer's journey, we will meet our potential clients at a misaligned spot where we're likely to make assumptions or take things for granted during that initial sales call. And what does that mean for us? It means less trust from our potential clients, and as a result, fewer new client sales, not an end goal for anyone in sales. Stick around because I've also got some information later in the video about some free upcoming sales training that I offer. So be sure to get those details. It is packed with value and can really help you on your future sales calls. If you're new to this channel, I'm Jessie, and I help coaches, consultants, and small business owners who've never had the benefit of formal sales training or didn't resonate with the training that they've gotten, learn how to feel really confident during their sales calls so they enroll more new clients. Our style is not at all pushy or salesy, but instead takes a heart-centered approach to selling. In the 20 plus years I've been in sales and sales coaching, things have changed a lot for buyers. Many years ago, shopping was contained mainly to your local market or ordering from catalogs rather than getting your one-day deliveries from Amazon. And even though the last few years with the pandemic, things have shifted even more to where the world works and engages remotely and globally, we've seen how successfully businesses can run that way. So what does this mean for our buyers? And what does it mean for us as business owners selling our services or products to our clients? How does understanding the buyer journey help us connect most impactfully with our potential clients so that we can help them the best during our sales calls? We're going to sort through all of this in this conversation so that we can make the most of every client conversation. So buyers have more choice than ever before in the online global shopping experience. With businesses adapting to remote working, the surge of services offered remotely has skyrocketed. We see telemedicine, remote car sales, online schools and education, and so much more. And many businesses have found that this style of work is much more efficient for everyone involved. It has ended up saving time for commuting, time getting to in-person appointments. It has saved money for people with less wear and tear on cars, commuting, and office space expenses, and even more. So for us as business owners and for our clients, this is great. It's to everyone's benefit when the consumption of our product and service is easier and more convenient for all parties involved. But it does impact the buyer journey and how we want to approach our clients as we meet them and want to help them to the best of our ability during a sales call. So let's start at the beginning of the buyer's buying journey. Where does it start? It starts with someone recognizing that they have a need for something. Maybe it's something they've struggled with for some time and are just fed up and want to change. This might be like someone who's been living in a home that's too small and needs more space for their growing family. Or it could be that they just want to improve their life, like someone who wants to work with a life coach to help them focus on living the life of their dreams and seeking help to take steps in that direction. So what happens? Once that need or desire is identified by the buyer, they continue to think about it and decide if it's something they want to look into. Then that buyer starts taking action. The second stage of the buyer journey, after identifying that need, is to do some research. This is where buyers have literally the world at their fingertips. They don't even have to get out of bed or get out of their pajamas to learn so much to further their decision-making process. So to the internet they go. And as you know, this can be helpful, misleading, and overwhelming, or any combination of these three. But the buyer will learn a lot in this step of their buying journey. Depending on their personality type and urgency of their need, this step could take months or even years, or it could happen in an afternoon. But digging around on the internet is the second stage of the buying journey. Depending on what the buyer's looking for, either a more complex purchase or something pretty straightforward, it could mean a simple transaction on the computer. Click and buy. Car companies have made big moves in this direction as companies like Carvana make car buying like buying a drink from a vending machine. It's really interesting, actually. And for the buyer, this is so easy. There's limited interaction with a salesperson and a guarantee if they don't like the car, they can return it. Pretty risk-free purchasing, right? That is smart. But many other purchases are less straightforward. The transaction is not done with a click to buy on the computer. It involves having a sales conversation, possibly visiting a location to see the offer in person, like that house purchase for the growing family. That step happens only after the buyer has done sufficient research and narrowed down some of their choices and are honing in on services that resonate with them, that appeal to them as a result of that internet search. The third stage of the buying journey is when they actually meet with the salesperson who can tell them more about the service or offer the buyer's interested in. Now, knowing that the general population doesn't love chatting with a salesperson, we know that this means the buyer is pretty far along in their journey when they meet with a salesperson, right? They've identified that they have a desire or a need for something. Then they've done a lot of research about that thing. And last but not least, they need to meet with someone to get more details. So it's my experience that buyers are pretty far along in their thought processes on buying when we finally meet them. Think about that. So what does that mean for where we approach our initial sales conversation with the potential client? Simple. We want to learn about that journey they've taken before getting to us. What prompted that initial desire? What does their life look like at the present moment that has them desiring a change? What's the biggest thing that they're struggling with? What is their ideal outcome? Can they describe that to you? These questions help you understand that first step of their journey. Then you want to learn about what they saw online. What is their experience finding solutions up to this point? Have they tried something that didn't work? That would be good to know, right? Are you the first person they've talked about a solution with, or have they talked to others and just not moved forward? That's another good thing to know. Understanding the journey that your prospect has taken before meeting with you helps you meet them at a place of better understanding. You can help them better when you know this information. You will be more sensitive to their needs and understand their thought processes. When you approach your initial sales conversation with this in mind, it really highlights your desire to help them and builds a stronger bond of trust rather than you just offering your service or product to them as a solution. Can you see how understanding the buyer journey shifts the dynamic and questions you want to ask your client during your initial sales call? It's a nuanced thing for sure, but with a big impact for your potential client and definitely brings a higher level of professionalism from you. This leads to more sales, plain and simple. Sales is about human relationships and communication after all, so we need to put that understanding front and center of the sales conversation. I trust that stepping back from the sales process and looking at how buyers buy these days is a good reminder of the best way to handle a sales call. It's my goal with these tips to provide you with actionable value that you can implement in your business and in your sales conversations right away so that you can maximize each and every sales opportunity with your potential clients. If you found this conversation to be of value, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell for future notifications, and share it with friends who might benefit from this content as well. I truly appreciate your support of this channel. And I'm curious, what aha thought jumped out at you from this conversation? Please drop that in the comments below. And as promised, I'm excited to invite you to my next masterclass training. In the training, I get into more detail about how to pull all of these tips on my channel together to have a confident, successful, and authentic sales conversation with your potential clients where they feel drawn to work with you. You don't want to miss this next session because it will be chock full of easy to implement processes that can shift your sales momentum, starting with your next sales call. Get the link to join my VIP waitlist for this great learning event in the description below. And from here, I look forward to seeing you next week with more sales tips to keep you out of that pushy and pressure-filled sales zone, yet still signing up more and more clients each and every day. Have a great week, my friends.